Hello again, YouTube! This is Dr. Kendo, and I am here with another Scribblenauts Unlimited Object Editor commentary. We're going to be creating this little Funtime dancing, cute little Freddy. It's the Funtime Freddy, of course, from the new FNaF 6, except for it's called Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. And Scott just kind of hid some horror elements in that and everything, as you guys probably know if you're watching this. We're going to start off with a boy as the source object, but basically we're going to be creating this character as well as Funtime Chica and the Funtime version of her Cupcake as well here in Scribblenauts. So if you think you like seeing this like art or Scribblenauts or any of this kind of content, of course, there's plenty of that on this channel. Feel free to subscribe and hit the bell down below. We got an ostrich egg coming up here, and the ostrich egg is actually twice because there's one that's white and then one that's kind of that purpley color for the little Funtime. Again, this is starting out with the cute Funtime Freddy. And so if you just have no idea, it's the little Funtime Freddy that's like dancing around in the menus and everything. He looks so cute and epic. I love it. And the golem we're typing in right here, we actually took the back thigh piece of the golem to be for the arms for Funtime Freddy here. I'm just going to say Funtime Freddy as a short, of course, but I mean the little cute tiny one. So he's obviously not like the Funtime Freddy we saw in Sister Location, just a very small miniature version of it. Doesn't have the bonbon puppet or anything. We had a bow tie for the bow tie and golf ball as both of the little buttons there, and a sphere actually goes down below because we also just put down another golem piece, which was the shoulder pieces of that golem, and those all make up the arm. So there's kind of those three different pieces right there. So far for the arm, we are going to put on the fingers after we just did that Megalania. And the Megalania, you can actually take it's the front leg, but it's like the upper kind of, I guess it would be like a thigh piece, but it's in the front leg, so it's just kind of the upper leg part. And we used hemisphere, and basically that Megalania piece will start out the legs with the hemisphere finishing them off. And he does have those little tiny kind of like stubby legs and whatnot, so that looks pretty good. And we are going to have to create the head and the body separately here because this game, although it's called Scribblenauts Unlimited, it does actually have a stamp limit. So a stamp is just like these dwarf pieces, these dwarf back arm right here. We're using those 4 times for the fingers. Well, that's 4 stamps right there. And then we're doing it again on the other hand. So that's going to be 8 stamps total just for those. And so it does have a stamp limit, as I said. But right now we're also going to be doing some properties editing right here. So the properties editor is just where you can do like health and sort of what characters react to your object as, and all of that kind of just background stuff for the character. And so this is where actually I like to read background information and fun facts about whatever we create in this series. So of course the new Five Nights at Freddy's game is released as of yesterday at the time of this recording, and it's kind of FNaF 6, but as I said, snuck under the guise of the game's actual title on Steam, which is Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator. I'll read off the Steam description of the game, but keep in mind it's not fully what it seems. Quote, presenting a fun Five Nights at Freddy's adventure with a lighter touch for the holidays, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator puts you in charge of developing your own restaurant. Design pizzas, feed kids, and get high scores! Exclamation point, end quote. The game gives us an interesting look at just so many new animatronics and things for the Five Nights environment. I didn't even know where to begin, basically. Ultimately, we've created, of course, the little cute Funtime Freddy from the menus. I did that because it's probably my most favorite thing that I've seen so far from the game, and I can assure you I haven't seen everything just yet, but there's so much more just in the menus that you can buy for your custom-made pizzeria. So just kind of based on your comments, I'll be creating much more content around the game, so please leave your suggestions in the comments below, and we'll try to address whatever's most popular or most requested each week. So we do need to create the head separately. As I said, you know, the stamp limit, that's kind of a way to get around it and still have your full design without really having to, I guess, get rid of too many design features, you know, to fit within the confines of this game. So we had a head as the source object, but we put an alien's body over that and just kind of reversed it so it's facing more to our left. And that's actually, you can see a piece of the head sort of peeking out on that bottom right corner. That's, of course, just our bottom right. Bubble we just used, and that piece of the head that's peeking out right there, it's because there are, you know, his head is kind of shaped a little bit differently where there's like cheeks, I guess you could say. So the cheeks right there, it's like that's what that head part is supposed to be. And you'll see actually that the line that is there that really looks like it shouldn't be there will actually kind of be covered up by all the pieces that we've just put down, like the oval. We're going to put down some more that will cover it up, but a beauty's back arm right now is for the eyebrows, a top hat for the hat, of course, and the bubble was also the ears, not just the eye parts right there, the white of the eyes right there. Road hump we can actually use for the mouth. It's kind of the inner part of his mouth, whereas the hemisphere will be the outer part, like the bottom lip right here. So the oval is sort of that top part of his snout or the mouth and nose area, and then a tofu right here painted white we can actually use as as his teeth. I know that he has a line there, so it's like two kind of buck teeth, but when it's so just hard to see right now, like basically it's almost like we're looking at him from a quarter turn view, but also a little bit from above because he is so kind of like tiny and short. So with that, it's okay if the tofu doesn't have that line kind of dividing it in the middle, because I don't think we're gonna have enough stamp space, honestly, to get everything that we want. So like Pearl right now was for the iris, the colored part of his eyes, with P-E-A as the pupil, and I'm gonna go with a pike, of course the fish, as you just saw on screen, and grab that fin of the pike fish, and dot were the two cheeks down there. And so I think that that's everything that we've got here. So let's go ahead and name this. I'm just calling him Cute Funtime Freddy, so just for short we can do Cute Funtime Head. And so in the properties editor for the head object, if you are going to create your head and body separately, just make sure under the equipment tab here on your head object, you want to check off this circle kind of near the bottom. It says can be worn on the face like glasses. So that'll kind of put it mostly where you want it to go. There will be some adjustments that are needed. This actually looks really close though. So, you know, we also have a script. If you notice while I was talking about all the background information and whatnot, there is a script for basically Funtime Freddy here, our cute little version, to be dancing. So in essence, when he is created and moves near an object, you could do the script however really you want it to be triggered, but I just did to where he moves near an object within like 2 spaces of it. Then he will add the adjective of dancing, then wait about 180 frames, and then remove the adjective of dancing. So what I discovered actually though is that this makes him just perpetually dancing forever when the head is created separately, because the head counts as an object within that script. So you can see we can even take off the head right here, put it away, but he's just like perpetually dancing because he's had that head placed on him. And so you would have to adjust the script if you want him to actually stop dancing. I think it's fine that he keeps dancing because that's sort of what he does. He just continuously moves when he's in those little menus while you're buying things for your pizzeria in the game. So anyway, you could also just type in still if you want him to stand completely still or something like that. You don't even have to do the dancing script, of course. So here's kind of what he looks like when he's actually just staying still. And so that looks good. And so there's my twisted kendo, of course. That's me standing next to him, that avatar over there to the left side of the Funtime Freddy bear. But we'll go ahead and move on. Of course, we're going to start with a mecha as the source object because now we got to create Funtime Chica. It's amazing that, you know, there was always this like speculation. Are they going to have Funtime Chica in sister location, or are they going to put her somewhere? Well, here it is. This is where we can finally see Funtime Chica. I took off the arms and the head of that mecha, but be sure before you take off the head, layer it so that it's in front of the body, because by default it's behind the body. But anyway, we got Medusa right there for the little, I guess it's like the body piece, but it's the lower body, starting kind of where the tail is of Medusa almost. Diaper right now we placed, because the diaper will be sort of that midsection, lower midsection of the character. We actually did T-Rex, the back kind of thigh piece, I guess, of the T-Rex, so it's back behind, just above the legs and everything, is that thigh piece, and that's for that pinkish, kind of pinkish red color, I guess, over there over her chest. And so we actually now just have circles. Those are going to be for the little speaker box right there, and a hemisphere is behind that. So the hemisphere combined with all this stuff that we've done, those 2 Medusa body pieces and all of that, now with this squid tentacle piece, it's kind of an upper tentacle, I guess, of the squid, kind of close to the squid's body. Well, all of that kind of makes that line that's going down, because the Funtime characters, you know that if you've seen them before, you can see all these lines and stuff, and it's like in sister location they would come apart at those lines, or they could come apart at those lines. And so with that, we just did that squid as the last sort of line that we need there. But the hemisphere and all of that, how that works out, makes enough lines and things for our creation here. And so a golem's back thigh piece, once again, we're going to use for actually Funtime Chica's thighs. I gave it this kind of color pattern. It's white, but it also has all these little lines in it, again, for that liney Funtime-ness. And to use less stamps, you can actually just use a color pattern for it. We got dragon. You can use any of the feet of the dragon, really, and it'll work for the Funtime Chica feet right here with Dimetrodon, the front leg, but it's the upper leg piece. Once again, it's not the foot, basically, but just above that. That Dimetrodon piece is not only for the shoulders of Funtime Chica, but also for the shins, or the lower leg part, just before the feet. And so then you can go with a Plesiosaurus if you want, but there are so many different stamps. I just used the Plesiosaurus, a piece of its neck, to actually kind of extend these arms a little bit longer here. Now, the mecha in this game, for Scribblenauts Unlimited, it does have its arms as 2 different parts, so basically the upper and the lower are, whereas most Scribblenauts Unlimited kind of humans and humanoids, they all just sort of have one grid for the arms. It's just one whole piece. So for this, it's a little bit different. So those arm pieces will be able to move independently, or I guess they move like that's where the joint is for the elbow. kind of being able to move rather than the arm being more stiff. And so we'll name that Funtime Chica after we got those receiver gloves on there for the hands, and a mola, the body of the mola. It's like a sunfish we used also for the backside of the palm. It's not, not the palm itself, but the backside of the hand. And barrel eye, the fin of the barrel eye fish, that's going to finish it off because there are those two little components there on the chest where you can see some lines and things where they could like come apart, and one of them is actually missing. It would be to our right, but it's Funtime Chica's left side. Anyway, here you can see we're just doing that properties editor stuff again, editing its health and all of this good stuff. Once that's finished and you've got the scripting that you want, we can move on to the head now to create the head separately so that we can fit within the stamp space, because you notice, of course, we're running out of stamp space basically on all of these designs. So you can count how many pieces I put on if you want, if you ever want to see how many stamps you actually get allowed per object. And so yarmulke we actually use for the bill of Funtime Chica, its beak right there. And we're going to go with a road hump once again for the inner part of the mouth, but also this time for the bottom lip, I guess, or the bottom beak layer right there. And so Pearl we can do as the cheeks because she's got these shiny little rosy cheeks. And so, of course, the bubble I think you saw earlier as the white part of the eyes. Beauty, the back arm once again of the female beauty, and we can make that be the eyebrows up there up top. And I'm going to go with yolk, of course, like the yolk of an egg, and we're going to use that for some eyelids here. It's just like our cute little Funtime Freddy. We had those eyelids visible, at least, like it wasn't just that his eyes were super wide open or whatever. And so that's, I think, a little bit more accurate to their design in the game Pizzeria Simulator. Whisker we're going to type in after we just got that PEA, and a wart as the pupil. So all of that stuff was for the color and the pupil of the eyes. And we're actually going to use those beauty back arms, I think, to we're going to have enough stamp space to do it. We can do 3 of them as the little hairs or feathers there on the top of the Chica head. And so for Funtime Chica, also being that it's fun time, we're going to put these lines on with that same squid tentacle piece. It's a really long black line. It works really well for this purpose, but we basically just did one vertical and one horizontal across the head right here. And so grills, Grillz, those are going to be for the teeth if you paint them white. We did it twice. And then the stamp limit's actually going to be reached once we type in the pool girl and take that back arm of the pool girl to be some lipstick right there on the end of the top beak layer. And Funtime Chica head is what we called it, so we can go into the properties editor just as a reminder for the head object under the equipment tab. Check off this can be worn on the face like glasses. Once you filled that circle in, you should be good to move on. But of course, what is Funtime Chica without her little Funtime Cupcake? So we do have that finished right here with the cupcake as the source object. It's interesting because the cupcake has always been my favorite character of all time in Five Nights at Freddy's. If I don't go with an animatronic, I always, as far as animatronics go, I always either liked Nightmare Freddy or maybe like FNaF World's regular Bonnie, something like that. But we have a kind of a lot of stamps here, and I can put some text on screen so that anybody who's playing in Scribblenauts Unlimited can still follow along. But I felt like this video is already long enough. We don't need to show all of the creation process. Basically, with the cupcake as the source object, you can then put these that are on screen right here in the text. Things like we actually have never used a plate in this series before, and I haven't always done the cupcake on a plate. Sometimes we'll put the cupcake on our shoulder or make it a glue piece where we can glue it wherever we want. And so this time we're just going to have it actually be a cupcake for the cupcake. And you can, of course, make it living if you want to in the scripting and whatnot. There's a box that just says, make this object be alive, basically. And so we have our cute little Funtime Freddy dancing while we have Chica here holding on to her cupcake. Notice in Scribblenauts Unlimited, though, of course, if you want to do the arm, you can basically make it so that her arm is kind of more horizontal, at least where the elbow is. It could be bent like that if you wanted to. But notice that, of course, when we put the cupcake in her hand, it actually goes to her front arm rather than that arm that's in the back. So it would be, instead of her left, it would actually be her right. So in Scribblenauts Unlimited, you would have to do that, I guess, knowing that. So if you wanted it to be more accurate to Five Nights at Freddy's and their design for what Scott did, you could just make the cupcake as a glue source object and do everything around that with the glue and just glue it to her hand or whatever when you move her arms. So otherwise, that looks good. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. Again, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and do the bell if you want the notifications. There's a little bell icon down there, please. It really helps me out, and it helps you get content like this. We're going to be creating more of this Five Nights at Freddy's Pizzeria Simulator stuff. I upload every single Sunday, sometimes more, but I think I will leave it at that, just for now. So I will catch you guys on the next vid, and thanks for viewing.
Down the road of twists and turns, always anxious to see what's within. We can look ahead to the point of no return, to the rest of our lives as the spectacle begins. I've been down the road